Okay, here I go. Okay. It was once said, always buy a good pair of shoes or a good bed, because if you're not in one, you're in the other. And I completely agree. Hi, I'm Alicia, founder of Bourgeois Boheme. I'm a passionate entrepreneur who's been, challenging the status quo of fashion for over a decade. And I'd love to welcome partners to join us in a more sustainable future through fashion for the people, planet, and animals. Fashion is a £1.77 trillion industry with increasing negative social and environmental impact. It's also considered the second most polluting industry in the world. Leather production is linked to serious sustainability issues. A lot of vegan shoes on the market are not sustainable and are problematic for the environment. So the solution is vegan footwear that treads lightly on the planet, but it's not just for vegans, it's for everybody. BBOM, we care about animals and we care about people. We produce ethically in Portugal. We care about the planet and we aim to do things differently using innovative materials. Think pineapple leaf fiber, apple skin, cactus leather, biodegradable, recycled, and natural materials. Working with the pre-order model, we aim to eliminate waste via overproduction. All the while, continue working towards the attainment of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We are a proven proposition. With 20,000 pairs of shoes sold, we have 26,000 followers and a 15,000 global customer base, which includes Tori DeVito, Mayan Balik, Woody Harrelson, Brian Adams, and Natalie Portman. The Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Daniel of Sweden were very impressed with our footwear when we introduced it to them. We've also been featured across much media, including Vogue, The Times, Guardian, FT, and Cosmo. The opportunity is huge and the timing is perfect. The interest in vegan and sustainable market is rocketing up. There are globally 78 million vegans and 375 vegetarians, with the global vegan shoe market worth £16.8 billion. With our new design ethic and marketing approach, we will also appeal to the wider consumer conscious base beyond vegans who care about animal welfare, the environment, and working conditions. There are more vegan shoes on the market, but they're not sustainably made and usually in the lower end. There is a bigger trainer segment as well. But with today's flexible working lifestyle, there's a huge opportunity for sustainable, beautiful, practical footwear with the affordable luxury segment. Our mules, ballerinas, and flats, amazingly comfortable in rich colors and made with innovative materials. The footwear is perfectly versatile, slipping on to dash out of the door in the morning through to the dinner date. No more frumpy indoor slippers either. Welcome impeccable indoor glamour when home entertaining. BBOM is the only brand that fills the gap for these two market segments. Having sold 20,000 pairs of shoes and 2 million in sales, we paused production in 2009 to reposition the brand and embrace the fast broadening appeal of the vegan sustainable market. With an aggressive and agile strategy, consumer and retail partners, by year 5, we're looking at 21.6 million in revenue and 8.3 million EBITDA. BBOM has always been self-funded, and our significant achievements to date have been achieved on a shoestring budget. With 5 we look at we ensure exceptional product design and development, hiring a great product management team, marketing, and working capital. This level of funding will also enable us to push forward into the US and UK markets. There's a strong team in place with together 75 years of experience in the areas of marketing, sustainable fashion, digital strategy, transformation, product design, development, and production. We have everything in place, a strong team, expertise, supply chain, low customer base, and we're ready to hit the ground running. We've proven we can sell vegan shoes, and it's just that the market is so much bigger now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. And if you can stop sharing your screen and the judges can turn your camera and off, please go ahead with your questions and as well as feedback.
Alicia, where are you based?
Oh, okay.
Alicia, where are you based?
I'm in the UK.
Okay. What is your distribution channel? Is it direct sale or you go through some channel? How do you sell?
Yes, so we were both direct-to-consumer model and also retail. So we have a plan in place in regards to sort of 3 phases, and we'll look at direct-to-consumer model to start off with, a digital strategy based in the UK to start off with, and then we're working towards expanding into sort of Europe and then the US by sort of year 2024. We're looking at sort of engaging content. It's not just about, let's say, a shoe brand, but it's about creating a community. And we're looking at also pop-up shops, experiential experiences, working with collaborations with different brands, and lots of other different ideas.
Thank you, Alicia. Maybe adding as a question, you have of D2C, is that right? Seller partnership, but you don't have B2B2C, which means that you could help some retailers or brands to produce, thanks to you, some collection and capsules that they produce with you, thanks to your sustainability purpose. Do you plan that to be more exponential, or is it just D2C and your own brand?
No, we were actually approached by a Parisian brand this year to look at working together to produce a collection. It didn't quite work out because I wasn't happy with what they wanted me to do. I wanted to do more, so that was put on hold. I am actually speaking to a B2B platform, and we are looking within our segment of, let's say, the indoor slipper market, which I think is a great segment that's to be exploited, about creating a sustainable product, whether it's through hotel chains to spas and different businesses in that way. We've also been approached, with our vegan footwear recently by HPO series in America to produce shoes for a male celebrity as well. So we also have that sort of route to market where we have done some collabs together with celebrities before.
My only advice will be picky. Don't be reactive, proactive. What's your target in order that you build first an exponential business model if you want to target VCs. So you need both D2C and B2B2C. But be picky because it's like an image. It's like a top model doing L before Vogue. You need to make sure that you target the ones that you need.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
I have a question more along the lines, and it kind of follows the same line of what Odile is kind of mentioning, as far as kind of the customer segments that you're following. I see you have like 60% margins on your current production or your current models. I'm curious to see if, like, what is the industry standard? Because typically for building more sustainable things, it's usually higher costs to be building these products. In addition, so like just understanding the margin behind it, and then going back to what Odile is saying, can you increase or decrease your margins to be able to expand into different markets, and kind of your thoughts along those lines as well too?
Yes, so I think I suppose it's usually between, 40 to 60% margin. We have been able a 60% margin, I suppose, working based on the costings that we have had from our previous production. When we look at economies to scale, we would hope that maybe we would improve that. When we're looking at sort of the B2B model, then we are looking at a lower margin there, which may be down to 30 to 40. And we look at that as a sales study, but it's also a marketing and a branding strategy, to be able to get our brand out there.
Thank you very much, Alicia. That will be the end of the pitch. That was a great pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, for the next, I'm bringing in Sophia from Ezpizee.
Shall I leave? Yes.
Oh, yes, please. Sorry, Alicia. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you very much for coming. If you can just go ahead and share your presentation, and we can dive in straight away.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Please let me know when you see my screen.
Yep, we can see your screen and ready whenever you are.
Just give me 1 second. Timer. Hi, my name is Suthianim. I'm based in Montreal, Canada. So I'm going to talk to you about Ezpizee. Ezpizee is a software as a service commerce platform, e-commerce platform. Why should you invest in Ezpizee? So if you look at the industry, e-commerce is by 2024, and it has consistently grown to go through that path. And the pandemic has really altered the shopping experience, and this is the e-commerce era. My 75-year-old mother-in-law never shopped online for the past year. She's been shopping online like crazy. My 7-year-old son, imagine he's 7 and he's able to shop for roadblocks to use educational online gaming and as well as the playing the game itself. Shopify has grown into an $11 billion business. Revenues in 2020, they made $2.9 billion. So we, Ezpizee, want to be Shopify alternative. There's more room to grow, and the consumers need more choices, and we want to be one of the choices. So this is a win-win opportunity for both you and I. In terms of problem we're trying to solve, there are 5 main challenges that the industry has been facing, and I have been in this industry for over 10 years now. Irritating shopping experience is one of them. It's still happening. Redundant authoring experience, inconsistent commerce experience, poor and reliable data, and poor and unreliable system. So in terms of the solution, my team have put in place, I have designed the solution and developed the solution to put in place the right technology to solve each of the problem, and it has proven to be working. Our product proposition is to enable businesses and entrepreneurs to manage, to start, to operate, and to deliver commerce experience across multiple channels. As their business grow, our systems also scales to size. With Ezpizee, they can start their own online store and grow their brand. They can manage their own or create their own marketplace if they want to. They can manage inventory and stock at the fingertips. They can have multiple stores with different languages and different geolocations with a single account. They can sell offline in their store with our point of sale systems. They can configure tax, shipping, payment services of their choice. They can focus on growing their business, and we take care of all their technological burdens. In terms of the products overview, I'm not going to talk too much about this. It comes with 3 different channels, POS, web, and mobile. That's out of the box. And in terms of web, we are integrating into an existing ecosystem that has huge community, rich ecosystem. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And the features, as you can see, PIM, offer and discounts, card order management, payment processing, reporting to tax and accounting, warehouse and shipping solutions, point of sales app, inventory, rating and review, security, and so on.
Less than 30 seconds left.
Okay, in terms of architecture, it's not in my garage. It is online. We have 4 cloud that we're working with. And in terms of revenue model, in 2 years, Ezpizee aim to capture 1% of Shopify market share, which equates to $111 million. And these are the different revenue models that we have. In terms of target marketplace, we're going after SMB and as well as enterprise. These are the 4 main competitors, and the roadmap we released last quarter. Q4 2020, and Q2 we're going to release analytics and reporting tool. This in the Q3 we want to go to market in North America. That's why we are talking right now, because I need the money for that. And in Q4 we are going to release our super app, which comes with micro loans, e-wallet, and cross-border money transfers, and it will integrate with blockchain technology. We have raised $1 million in seed funding, and we are looking for $5 million that we'll use for these 5 categories. Your $5 million will allow you to own 35% of the business, and it will turn $33 million in 2 years. So it's 7 times of your money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if judges can turn on their camera and mic on and go ahead with the questions and feedback. And then Sothia, if you can just stop sharing your screen as well.
Yeah, will do. Give me 1 second. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. I was just curious, what so are you producing hardware and the mobile app and the SaaS solution?
So we produce the core commerce, which is sitting on the cloud. It's a SaaS. We're producing the tablet and desktop app. We're producing the mobile apps. Now, in terms of the device, we are working with our partner in China in order to use our own device in order to provide as a solution to our customers, especially retails, small, and the retention, maintenance fees and support fees will be included in that. Yeah, selling the device as well as the support fees.
Do you think that the hardware device is required to get over the next 12 to 18 months?
No, it's not, because we build to run on mobile like Square, to run on tablets, and to run on desktop, so they can use one of their existing device for that. But in terms of retail, a larger retail, more than 1 stores, they likely gonna want to have device, and that's what we want. But in the beginning, for the first year, I think that's not needed, because our focus is to go after existing community from Drupal, Joomla, and WordPress, which a lot of them are online, and I think that's not going to be needed. But as we expand the footprint, we will definitely need to have the device, and it is in the roadmap for using the device.
My only suggestion would be I would focus where you don't have to do hardware, because hardware is hard. And just sort of avoid that for as long as possible, because there are so many great software solutions and ability to not have that hardware device to manage.
Awesome. Thank you.
Another question I would ask before I stop is distribution. How are you distributing and getting customers?
So we are working with boutique consulting firm, a lot of them, and also we are pushing through existing community at Joomla, WordPress, and Drupal. They have WordPress has about 75 million, Joomla about 2 million, and 2.5 million, and Drupal's about 1 million. And with this, there's a lot of small to medium boutique consulting firm that we can partner with, as well as pushing through the channel by developing tools and so on in order to increase the footprint from blocking and solutions and attending event and so on. These are the goal that we push forward. So evangelizing, provide solution, free solution, and commercial like sales solution that we sell through ads on plugins and components and so on, as well as going a partner with a sort of affiliate program with our partners to sell the solution to end customer. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a. There is a salesperson that knows much better than I am. He has a lot, like over 15 years experience in doing that, but he's just not available on call right now. I don't have the right or the
no problem.
Yeah,
I had the same question as Jason about your go-to-market strategy, and when you have a lot of tiny businesses, to clarify how you will execute and to better understand what's your funnel and your leads and how you make sure you don't lose too much time. And it's not a question of number of sales representatives. It's more a question of method and how you deal with the funnel and your priorities.
So thank you. I definitely thank you. It's very helpful. And one of the things, I don't just want money in this 5 million. I want someone comes with expertise as well. We do have a very strong sales head of sales and marketing with a lot of experience, but we want someone with a much stronger experience in connecting us with the right people and the right strategy as well.
Thank you very much, Sothia. That was a great pitch. Unfortunately, it's the end of the pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sothia.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah. So now next I'll be bringing Ilan from Open Art Source.
So if I leave, will I leave or will I just still stay in here?
Oh, you'll still stay in there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Ilan, I'm bringing you on now.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hope you're ready. If you can.
I am. How do I share my screen here? Here we go. I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have you clicked on the screen? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we can see that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your time, everybody. My name is Ilan Klein. I'm one of the co-founders of Open Outsource, and we're building the Robin Hood for the art market. The art market is the last big international opaque market out there. You can know the price of almost everything else in the world, but not the price of most artwork. The market is built on exclusion and is available only to the super rich and the celebrity crowd. We intend to change it and open it for retail investors and artists. Artists have specific issues with today's art market. Most artists can get a gallery showing, definitely not in New York, Berlin, Paris, London, any of the big cities. Is almost impossible. The current market is $65 billion a year. Most of the money is being made in secondary and tertiary sales. Artists are the market makers, but they see none of that money. Artists are really talented, but many of them are really not good internet marketers. It's really hard for them to reach the audience. Collectors have different issues. The biggest one is there's no data. The market is almost completely opaque. 76% of art sales are private, so there's no data. The last 24% are public auctions, but the prices are not public. You have to pay to get access, and most people don't do that. The market seems to be rife with fraud. Credible sources quote that more than 50% of art is fake. And there's no infrastructure or tools to invest in art like you would invest in stocks, bonds, or other financial instruments. So what will we do? We will provide free, immutable, blockchain-based data about art sales, artist price trajectories, market segments. The data will allow retail investors to make data-driven purchase decisions, investment decisions, and retail investors will start to use art as an investment vehicle. We develop an AI platform which will provide provenance at scale, elevating the feel of purchasing a fake or a copy. We will provide automatic royalties to artists for secondary and tertiary art and provide lifetime revenue from what they make. How will it look? It can look like that. This is a home screen for a user, and our AI engine will provide customized homepage for every user based on what they like and what the system thinks they will want to purchase. We'll have artist pages with data relating to each artist, and obviously artwork data. This is a scatter plot for the size variation for certain artists. In a way, we're building the data layer of the art market. This is the median price of Kenneth's work since he started selling on Open Outsource. This shows how this specific parrot painting from before does compared to similar art on Open Outsource. This shows what materials Kenneth is using in his art and what more rare in his universal work. This is the size one that we showed before. This is the monthly production output of Kenneth, and it shows how much he makes and how rare his things could be. This shows how much of Kenneth's art is in public hands compared to private hands. What is the market? The marketplace in this is US data. It's 64.1 billion in 2020. It's showing growth and will be 65 at least in 2021, according to UBS yearly white paper about the status of the art market. There are 1.9 million artists in the US, according to the US Labor Department data.
Less than 30 seconds left.
Okay, 12 million collectors in the US, according to Artsy. How much money will we make? We have two revenues model. One is transaction fee, the other one is subscription. First year will not charge subscription to make the market more liquid. The second year will be $60 a year. We'll be losing money in 2021 and 2022. We'll be profitable in 2023. There will be exponential growth after that. We're looking for $2 million, even though it says 5, it's a mistake. We are Cecil, my co-founder, and myself already invested $100,000 in this application. We are releasing new functionality on a bi-weekly basis, and we launched the app in the first quarter of 2022. In 5 years, the art market will be very different. Art will be a common investment in many retail investors' portfolio. Artists will receive royalties. Galleries will sell art to a new generation of art collectors, and our data will be public for all. We will be a major part of this shift. This is our team. It's a team of grizzled internet warriors who worked and created, deployed huge internet projects for some of the biggest companies in the world. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. And if judges can just in the camera.
Ilan, we had a lot of noise when you were presenting, when you were changing the pages or something like that, just for your information for next speeches. And as you talk about art and joy, don't forget to to enjoy it, because even if it's a pitch, we love to see your energy and things like that. So I think you're building something pretty amazing. I don't have a question for you except maybe to clarify the customer journey, because we see it on screens, but it's pretty exciting to see what you're building for the users and the clients, in fact, and customers. So great job, but just feel the joy.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Did I stop sharing the screen?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Again, huge fan of kind of bringing the art world to kind of the blockchain side. I understand the royalty piece behind it. I mean, we see now all these memes selling on NFTs for like huge sums of money. But I'm curious on the one piece that you mentioned on the fraud side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, digital art, I seems pretty easy to put on NFTs or to sell and to kind of keep track of. But actual like art that exchanges hands from one person to another person, how do you actually determine that is the right piece, or continuously make sure that is the right art that stays on the blockchain and actually goes from hand to hand?
Ryan, it's a great question, and thank you for asking that. So our team and basically my co-founder, Cecil Pang, developed an AI engine that can actually look at two pieces of art and tell you which one is the original one and which one is a fake or not the original one. And after teaching this AI for quite a while, we have a great success rate of more than 90% of the AI being right. So the combination of actually having an NFT, a non-fungible token for the piece, and then having the AI data, you can know that this is the right piece. And we are getting a patent on the AI piece.
Great pitch, and I think it's a great idea. But why do you think your marketplace will be successful? There are quite a few other marketplaces which exist for artists.
Yes, so I think if you go on the internet, you will find thousands, if not tens of thousands of websites who are selling art. Most of them don't sell anything. And we have a really good spreadsheet with everybody who is competing with us. And I can tell you that we have a few things that are unique to us and are not shared by others. One of them is actually the ability to provide AI provenance at scale, that you can actually, as a collector, you know that what you're collecting is the right thing and not a fake. The second thing is that we actually do NFTs for physical art, for art that is removed at least one pace away from the actual blockchain. Most NFT companies only do digital art, and doing physical art is actually much more challenging. It involves actually having offline and online talking to each other, and we developed a system to do that. That's a unique piece that is missing in the market right now. And I think that we will be successful because we ran a test, and we actually asked artists on Facebook and Instagram if they want to participate in the beta and get royalties on sales, secondary, tertiary sales. And I can tell you that we got 600 artists after spending $1,100. I think we can get many artists to participate. And I think that the market will probably come after them, but we also have plans how to get galleries, dealers, and collectors into the market. It will be liquid.
Thank you very much, Ilan. That would be the end of the pitch. Thank you for your great pitch.
Thank you so much.
No worries. So I'll be bringing on Sihan from XCINEX. Hi, Sihan. Thank you very much for coming. Hope you're well. If you can just go ahead with sharing your PowerPoint, and we'll start straight away.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, and thank you to all the judges. 1 second. Let's share my screen. And then, yeah,
Yep, we can all see that.
All right. Well, I'm excited to be here, so I'll just get started right away. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Jihan Fuat Atkin. Just call me Jihan, founder and CEO of XCINEX. What we've done is created Venue. It's a whole new streaming experience for premium ticketed experiences. Now, there's been a ton of innovation in music and streaming, but for ticketed experiences, there's really nothing that's changed, right? We still have to go to the physical venue. We still have to go to a theater or a concert hall or whatever it may be to get in line and get tickets and go into that experience. Well, we've created Venue, which is a marketplace that allows content creators and storytellers and entertainers to stream direct to consumer their product in that theatrical or the live entertainment window to expand their ticketed audience. So consumers can have access to these premium experiences without having to travel, find a babysitter, or go through the other processes that are required today to go and catch a show. We have 3 different products. We have Venue app alone that works on devices like Facebook Portal TV that already have a camera built in. We have our own Venue Lite USB TV cam that is essentially a USB camera that plugs right into the side of a TV or a smart, TV box like the Amazon Fire Cube or the Roku, and our app can be on those experiences or on those devices. And Venue X is our full-on media player, which is essentially a plug-and-play device. It's like a Roku, but it has our camera in it. And what it allows you to do is access not only ticketed experiences, but also all your other favorite streaming apps and Zoom right from your TV and cool stuff like that. So the market we're targeting is like concerts, theatrical movies, sports, which alone is already about $80 billion globally. But we're also, there's room to grow with Broadway shows, comedies, all these other experiences that are ticketed but don't have a way to get to audiences right now. We are a digital exhibition. So we are a marketplace that brings these digital exhibition entertainment experiences to the consumer without devaluing the experience or the ticket model. And here's kind of a competitive analysis to that shows where we fit in. There's a lot of roadblocks in the current model, right? When a movie's out either in theaters or a live concert in a concert hall, you have many segments of the consumer market that's totally disconnected. And if they want to have access, even if they have money to have, to buy the tickets. So what we've done is we've created this marketplace that replicates that experience using machine vision and AI. We did a market validation and we're in the current process of running our pilot. We sold out in units and we're currently delivering these units and running our closed pilot to flush out the system for our anticipated Q4 launch. We have patented IP to the ability to stream content to any location and charge on a per person basis and stop the content if there's more people than tickets sold and facilitate more ticket sales is a patented process of ours. So in those markets. And we also have pending in Europe, India, and we just submitted 2 additional patents in the US. Audience engagement data like never before. Although it's very protective of your privacy, we don't see people, we see audience. And we're able to get really granular demographic information about the audience. So unlike the current streaming companies. And we're designed secure by design, private by design, all those good words, and we understand that consumers, and I am a consumer as well, have privacy, right? So we've created measures to address that. Not only do we have a privacy cover on the device that magnetically clips right on and covers the camera, but when the camera is active, you have a halo light around the lens, so you know it's active, and the camera's only active when you as a user give it permission. We do have a second screen we're building that brings all that experience and more in an immersive way to the consumer. So if we're all watching the latest movie or we're watching Taylor Swift concert, you guys might not want to see my friends pop up in the corner. So I can actually pull out my phone and get more immersed into the experience, have watch parties, have all types of cool experiences solo while the rest of you guys are having fun watching Taylor Swift. So we're designing that ecosystem. Some of the revenue streams that we have right now are the
that's time up, but you can still continue, but it will just eat away in your questioning time.
Okay, cool. I'm almost done, so I'll just continue. We have some revenue streams, as you can see: ticket revenue, ad network, analytics, the devices themselves that we were able to sell, and then API calls for Venue X, which are third-party apps that are streaming, but they can use our secure infrastructure to get demographic information about their audience. So I'll just jump to the end here. Sharing our success, we're currently running a WeFunder, and it's been very successful. The turnout's been very great. We raised over $355,000 from about 109 investors so far, and it's currently active at wefunder.com/venue by XCINEX. We have a pretty solid advisor team. Mina Masood is an actor in Hollywood. He's very successful. His last movie was Aladdin with Disney's Aladdin. Craig Cahill comes as an advisor from Vizio. He's now the head of global consumer electronic products for Logitech. And Ravi Shani is the founder and CEO of an iconic industrial design firm called RKS that has helped us capture the vision and create our products. In our leadership team, as you can see, you've already met me. We've also got Don Tannenbaum, my co-founder, who has 40 years in Hollywood, and he was the senior VP of Sales Operations and New Technology for theatrical distribution for Warner Brothers. And I don't want to take up too much time because you guys can find all this information on our website. Thank you so much, and I'd love to get your questions.
Please, Jan and judges, if you can just turn on your camera, and Michael, with the back and questions.
Sorry if I spoke too fast. Only gave me 5 minutes.
Yeah. See, I'm quite interesting. So in this content game, you see a whole lot of content players coming in, right? Everybody competing for the eyeballs. Where do you fit in?
We're something totally new. We're a theatrical exhibition on a digital platform. So what we've done is we've created a back end that allows content creators and artists and talented folks to be able to stream their premium content directly to the audience. And we don't set the ticket price or where it streams. They have the tools in our system to set ticket prices according to the geographic, the markets that they're releasing in. They can even black out certain territories according to distribution deals that they have. So all we're doing is bringing premium entertainment experiences that would normally require you to physically go somewhere and stand in line and get a ticket to the comfort of your home. So that's so stuff that streams on our platform won't be available on like a Netflix or on HBO Max.
And what percentage of content would be that in the whole content game?
It's all the new stuff. So it's what artists make money off of. I mean, these artists make money off of their tours and their concerts. So now with things opening back up, which is awesome, but you're still looking at limitations in certain cities, and we're an expansion of that because with our content model, the content's available on Venue only when it's live or when it's in the theatrical window. When it comes out of theaters, it's no longer available on Venue. And when it comes out of when the live event's over, it's not on Venue anymore. So it's for those consumers like the 45 million people in rural America that have access to internet that would love to spend money to watch their latest artist or whatever, but they don't. But the nearest city center is like a 60-mile drive.
Got it.
So.
Yeah, I have a lot more questions, but I'll let others.
Oh, what's the price point of the device or devices?
So our Venue Lite is $24.99 retail. And our Venue X, the full-blown device, is $99.99 retail. And we have distribution model in place where when we partner with distribution companies and our distribution partners, every device that they've sold, they make a recurring revenue from every ticket sold. So we're cutting our distributors into the ticket sales, which gives them a huge incentive to push out our product, which then creates a huge incentive to drive top talent to the product, because now you're in millions of homes, right? You have huge distribution. Now the only thing missing is the entertainment, the content. So it's a way to marry the two. If we have very wide distribution and you have a way to lock down the technology, right, the ability to sell tickets per person, getting the content's pretty straightforward.
So if you, I guess from a content provider perspective, how are who are you lining up to deliver this content, whether it be concert goers or venues, etc.?
Yeah. So we're talking to all the big, studios, obviously, all the major studios. We've already got LOIs from independent studios and international content providers, both live and filmed. So, like MMA and boxing, we're talking to the biggest brands as well as the B tier, because we understand that until we get into a big enough installed base, it's hard to attract the A talent, right? So we are understanding that we're going into the market with a strategy that's going to gradually grow until we, become viral.
Thank you very much, Zihan, and that will be the end of the time. That was a really great issue. Thank you very much. So it's Max from SportsTrace. Hi, Max.
Hi, you can hear me?
Yeah, thank you for being patient about this issue. If you can just go ahead with your PowerPoint, sharing your PowerPoint, and we'll start straight away.
Absolutely. And let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep, able to see your screen. Yep, there you go.
Great.
When you're ready.
I'm ready. Here we go. So hi, everyone. Thanks for attending tonight. My name is Max Montre. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SportsTrace, and at SportsTrace, we turn game and practice video into ways for athletes to train smarter. So I want to introduce you to an athlete. Let's call him Steve. And Steve's good. He has always dreamt of becoming a professional baseball player. And he's good, but he knows that when the scouts are watching, he's going to absolutely have to hit it out of the park. The problem is he doesn't necessarily know whether or not his training is affording him the opportunity to do that. And there are tools out there right now for athletes, but they don't necessarily apply to all of the use cases for even an individual sport. They're complicated. They take a tremendous amount of time and predetermined knowledge for individuals to use. Plus, they're not necessarily accurate. Enter SportsTrace. SportsTrace, again, turns that video, regular everyday cell phone quality video or better, into ways for athletes to train smarter. It gives them information about how their bodies are moving. It analyzes that information, turning unstructured video data into structured data, and it gives them recommendations for improvement. So really anywhere on the chain in the hierarchy of how they should train and understand how they're performing, they can get information. And that information applies, again, to far more use cases, whether it's in-game, at practice, at home, alone, with the team in a training facility, with less time on either an athlete or a coach's part, and with a greater degree of accuracy, both in the information that SportsTrace provides, and also with regards to exactly how that information should be applied to your sport. And again, the idea is very simple. Use your phone, and SportsTrace does the rest. Our patent pending solution and our platform allows athletes and coaches to upload video, and they get back more than just data. Sure, if they want to geek out on the data like me, that's great. But if they just like recommendations for improvement that specifically targets inconsistencies or areas of work for their sport and their activity, they can absolutely fast forward to that spot. And this market for athletic training and player tracking and analytics is really huge, with video growing every single day. This is an area that was not necessarily accessible before, based on the fact that the technology had not necessarily arrived. Right now, we're creating computer vision and machine learning models up in the cloud that allow us to do this. In the competition, we feel that we're far more automated and far less expensive than the competition. But honestly, for a lot of the competition, We view them as complementary technologies to what we're doing. And we've actually integrated on our platform some of their data sets to give a much more full and well-rounded picture of the athlete. The model's pretty simple, subscription-based. One thing we actually don't have up on here in the annualized subscriptions is with regards to integrations that we're doing with video providers in sports data and analytics right now. We intend to roll out to more sports as time goes on, and we've just got started. With our team, again, there's me, there's my co-founder, Alex. Alex played golf in college. I coached softball. We're both lifelong athletes. We both worked at Microsoft. I have startup experience, and we feel that the results so far that I'm about to get to will prove that this is a problem worth solving and that we're the ones that can solve it. Because we've really achieved a great deal of traction in just slightly over a year. Actually, it was in March. It was my 1-year anniversary from leaving Microsoft. And it was just last month that we got our first modest revenue, but we're ready to really hit the ground running this summer with the full product, the mobile application, the web platform, and the integration service. And that traction has really manifested itself with a number of key and high-profile partners that we've been extremely fortunate to be able to work for, and they're giving us more and more data all of the time. What we're here to ask for today is $750,000 seed investment, and that'll provide us 18 months of runway. Again, this will help primarily with our go-to-market strategy and the product as it evolves with regards to how we're selling it and how we will distribute that through the channels. So help us measure what matters at SportsTrace. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, Max. And if judges could go ahead.
Hey, Max, great presentation.
Thank you.
Very precise, to the point, very well captured. Appreciate that. Is your target market just people involved in the sports, or is it for anyone who loves the sport?
It's a great question, Pavan, and I appreciate that. So when we actually started this, we thought that lots of people have video. Why not provide a service to give more value to video that might just sit there and otherwise go unused? We have reams and reams of this data. Can we provide structured information around it? Because we're recognizing the human body in 3D. So we've gotten interest, from professional teams, but mostly in the high-ranking amateurs, and from training facilities and those inspired and aspiring athletes at some of the lower levels with the sports that we've worked with right now. We've also gotten interest more on the physiotherapy and physical therapy rehabilitation side of things as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey, Max.
Hi.
Super cool here. I remember I've seen a few things before, and I think you mentioned the problems with them. It's either really costly, takes time to do. So really cool that you can just do it by video, by phone. I mean, I would have used it when I was younger, in my younger days as well too. But quick question on the data that you guys have. I know you mentioned you're getting data from professional teams and things like that. I would imagine it being pretty tough with, for instance, baseball. Everybody has different forms, swings, left-handed, right-handed, and things like that as well too. I play basketball, so different places to shoot the ball from your head, release point, and things like that. So I'm just curious on how do you inform the player, the correct form to fit his adjustment and to make sure that the data is accurate, or the recommendation is best for.
No, it's a great point, Ryan. And I won't lie, we kind of fell backwards into this one and started with sports that we love. Again, I coached softball, played baseball. My co-founder played golf. And what we found about those sports is that there were isolated scenarios that, despite some, I will call them unique formal elements of the athletes, at the most important parts, and we've analyzed quite a bit of video to back this up, we find that there's a general consistency. Not necessarily with the way the athletes look. I mean, if you're swinging at an outside pitch versus an inside pitch, it might look slightly different. But in terms of like rotational velocities, in terms of linear distances, there are some things that should be fairly uniform, and we can measure those, again, because we're getting those measurements in 3D. Now, how do we get back the right recommendations? So we started, again, I won't lie, with our best guesses. And we've used partners not just in sports and athletics from our network of coaches, but also scientists, academics, and industry experts. We run those by everybody and say, what do you think of these? To the point where we built a very flexible system that these partners of ours, our customers of ours, if we go to a training facility, they can actually provide back their recommendations so that we're focusing on the coach and saying, here's the problem. What do you suggest the solution is? And we can load those in very easily.
What's the time required or data required to bring on a new sport? Like add your fourth sport. Like how do you scale between sports? What are other learnings that allow you to shrink that time with the 3 you've done so far?
Well, one of the first things we do is partner with an expert and say, what kind of things should we be looking at that we're already quantifying in terms of generalized movement? And then we have to, again, if it's a sport that we're unfamiliar with, we would pull that individual to partner and say, this is what we want to do. How would you start? What kind of things would you recommend as corrective measures? Getting that information into the system is a couple hours long worth process. In fact, we're doing some right now for cricket. But getting the right information, it does take time. We review how we would say, is someone's form being corrected by this recommendation? We have that ability to almost rate those recommendations over time to see which ones are being viewed, and provided they're being used, which ones are the most effective for the athletes. So I would say generally, as it's gone for us, it takes about a month to get a new sport on.
To interrupt, but it's the time of the end of the time of the pitch. Thank you very much, Max, for the great pitch. Thank you very much for the judges as well.
Thank you.
So next is Eric from Plumbr.
Hi there, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hope you're well. If you can just start with sharing your PowerPoint, and we'll start straight away.
Perfect, we'll do. Okay, great. Hi, I'm Eric Meadows, CEO of Plumbr. Plumbr is the software developer's sidekick. The problem today with software engineering is that devs don't know the blast radius of their changes. Devs will go in and change common app code, shared functionality, or they'll change ETL code, and they don't know the breadth and depth of those changes and what it impacts and who it impacts. Devs constantly are deploying inefficient software into production, where machine learning and data scientists will end up releasing code into real-time endpoints that use pandas or TensorFlow that are very compute overhead intensive and slow down those endpoints. Or developers will do a bunch of string replaces when the most efficient code operation is to do regex. In addition, devs are spending roughly 1/3 of their time debugging. That's times not spent building products. Over the past 10 years, I've worked on ETL, data science, I've worked on machine learning, and I've worked on software engineering at great companies, and this has been a common thread across all of them. The solution is an integrated software platform that emulates a project manager. It creates an always updated flowchart of all software and databases and database calls. It communicates that blast radius to developers through tools that they already use, namely GitHub. And it suggests code optimizations that save execution time. The bottom line is this gives software engineers superpowers. It enables them to discover problems and prevent them before they happen by highlighting the entire end-to-end flow of where they're making a change and what it impacts, from app code to ETL pipelines to dashboards where senior leadership are making decisions. Additionally, it helps developers debug problems quicker by understanding the entire observability pipeline of a data source. And it helps developers focus on the idea and not the implementation. The market size is very large. I understand the market really well because I've talked to customers and I understand what they want to pay. Companies on the echelon of Bloomberg have understood that by doing a change that they made a couple of years ago, where they changed a name of a column in a SQLite table, they ended up crashing a market, costing them billions of dollars. Companies on the echelon of Major League Baseball understand that their app might break. And when their app broke, it ended up costing them over $300,000 of sales. And customers that are startups understand that this makes their software engineers more efficient. The competition is very straightforward. There are companies focused on ETL pipelines, which help democratize data engineering. There are companies that work on data lineage. That helps senior leadership understand how the GDPR flow works. And there are companies that focus on getting your code, but not end up helping data and software engineers know what the problem breadth is of their changes.
What's left?
I'm raising $1 million to hire 3 founder-level engineers, and we'll hit our seed or Series A by December with 1 million ARR. And this is just a little bit about me, and that's the team.
Thank you very much. If judges can go ahead with their audio and video, and go ahead with the questions.
Thank you for the pitch. Any insight on the user journey? So that means the people that will adopt you in the companies that you target, because you're very clear about the size of the need as a total market, but more the individual customer-centric approach.
Yeah, so the first 3 customers that will be jumping on board is Major League Baseball. My last day there is on June 4th. So June 7th, I signed the NDA, and we're actually getting that part moving. It's a real estate startup that's been reaching out to me, trying to recruit me for about 3 years. They kept on upping the pay, and they, when I pitched this to them, wanted this for 3 years. It's actually been in their Jira backlog for 3 years. And then the third one is Bloomberg, which I have some connections with. So I'm focused real quick on those 3 because they have the software breadth of what I need to take part in. So that way it actually preps me for all future customers. And this literally just, it's once I get those 3, it's copy and paste for pretty much everybody else. It's a huge problem and it's hard.
Eric, is it a SaaS? What's the delivery model?
Yeah, so it's software as a service. So it integrates into GitHub. Basically, I get access to an entire company's GitHub repository, and that spreads it both with mono repo and multi-repo. And it's basically scanning all of their code and assembling the entire lineage model and observability model of all software.
Is the pricing based on?
So the pricing, yeah, it's a good question. So it's a flat rate, and the reason why is at $50,000 a year for a small company, the cost of running that, all of the operations, is $500. So,
got it.
Yeah, it's a very simple price model. So it's flat, and I don't need to increase the price when I add more features because it's just a defensibility model at that point. I don't need to up the price because there's so much like margin.
Initial stage, yeah.
Yep.
So you're the solo founder?
Yeah, I'm solo founder, and the reason why is because I can give away more equity. So I only allocated 70% to myself. I've already talked with a former engineer that I work with, and I can allocate an extra 10%. I can take that and carve it out for 3 engineers. That helps me build a team of people that are invested, and they already know that basically what this is going to do.
Eric, super cool what you're doing. Just a quick question on kind of your product roadmap and where you guys stand now. I know you're saying you're trying to hit a 1 million ARR by the end of this year, but you're still trying to hire founders and things like that. So I guess how's the capital going to be raised, allocated, and kind of?
Yeah, so the capital gets allocated first by hiring another co-founder engineer. I've already got the sales kind of hitting in the pipeline. I'm a back-end engineer. I have the front end built that was good enough to get demo to close the first deal. And then from that, I've been working on the actual back end over the past few week now. So once I started June, it's basically just full time on that. And then the first product deliverable for MLB will be in late July, and then should be able to close that quickly by mid to late August.
I would rather call it a dynamic testing tool rather than a PM.
I understand the dynamic testing, but there's, I think a good way to associate it is data observability tool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then it extends beyond that. So I know project manager is weak. There's no real good.
Because it is very hard to quantify in terms of value what it really saves.
Yeah, so what I'm doing with those first two companies is basically quantify the amount of engineering time that's saved.
Right, exactly.
By doing this. And then another piece that we're going to add in is later is side by side that overall impact model side by side with GitHub code changes. So that way you can understand what everything touches.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
Thank you very much, Eric. That's the end of the pitch. That was a really great pitch, so thank you very much. Hi, Todd. Thank you very much for being patient. If you can just, no worries. If you can just go ahead and share your screen, and we'll jump in straight away.
Yeah, where's the share screen button? Sorry, guys.
I'm not able to see it at the bottom where there's like a screen.
Yeah, it says unable. There we go. Let's try that. Gotcha. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
I'm on it right now. Can you see that?
It should be loading. Are you able to see it from your side?
I can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it now as well. So yeah, ready whenever you are.
Okay, so for the first 30 seconds, I thought I'd say thank you guys for actually lasting this long at 7:30 at night and taking your time with us. I'm probably the old guy of the batch here. I've been at our industry, which is the cannabis industry, believe it or not, for about 6 years. What started as an adventure when a guy called me, I was living in Asia, I was living in Thailand. He called me and said, somebody rented my armored truck and it smelled like weed. And that was a police officer. What had ended up happening was I decided with him to start what was then and is now still the largest armored transportation company to move the money from one way and move the product to the other way. The challenge in the cannabis industry is really there was nobody doing that at the time. There weren't banks really. We had the first bank, which was Technicolor. We then made inroads into other banks. We brought on North Bay Credit Union and a bunch of others in our space. That then led me to the belief that it's great to have the banks, but it's better to be working with the banks. So what we did is we created Payzel. I left Hardcar. I'm now selling Hardcar to a publicly traded company, and this is my fourth exit out of startups. The last one I worked in was a company we sold to Boeing for $330 million. So I kind of hope I know what I'm doing. The companies we work with currently now are, these are our customer base. Scott's Miracle-Gro, as you may know, is in our industry. They're very large. They have about a multi-billion-dollar footprint, about $5 billion in our space. Paychex is a customer of ours that brings us leads, and the guys actually at Tesla, believe it or not, needed a leasing solution to be able to get into the cannabis industry. Now, this doesn't mean we're just focused on cannabis. It's only one of our markets, but we are expanding because we realized very quickly that we want to work with innovative firms. So our ask is $1.75 million to help us build out the rest of the technology and cap up our remaining part of our software that we haven't finished. We have the first part of our software, which is patent pending. Our team includes myself. I've actually funded and founded the companies before, like Hardcar. I put about $1 million of my own money into Hardcar. Dan Allen, who's been a CEO of prior public and private companies. Over on the right-hand side there, Lauren Cohen, he's my founder with me. He's actually the Harvard professor. I went back to school. Yes, I know I'm 50, but I went back to school to learn fintech. And Lauren came on board as one of our investors as well. He's a professor in fintech technologies, knows advanced modeling. He's one of the helping guys that helped us get the patent done. Our mission is to streamline banking and financial solutions to innovative industries. So not just cannabis, things like autonomous vehicles and hydrogen trucks and solar power wall companies. And what we do is we take the inability to secure business loans for these industries, we make it much easier for the banks. So we do a high level of underwriting and we do a high level of actual automation of that process for the banks. And we work with innovative banks, which was what's driving us. So if you can imagine 10 years in the past to 10 years in the future, you probably can imagine something like this. This is Life magazine from 1969. Back then, they didn't believe that cannabis was going to actually be an industry. Today, most people would say cannabis is an industry. It's generating billions of dollars a year. And right now, why are the banks involved with us? Because we streamline the onboarding process. We give them a maximization of capital to the people in our industries. And what that does is basically, it enhances the ability to get liquidity for companies like my own, like Hardcar, the company I had started. I didn't have the access to leases. I didn't have banking to be able to get me the things on. American Express canceled my credit card after 30 years. So I knew what was happening and I knew how to get the banks. So what we did was we worked with some very large customers of mine that have been in our past. So we have the experienced management team that knew this place, knew this market segment, to be able to get them to refer customers to us. We are referral based only. We don't go out to market to be able to advertise. We don't need to. We'll advertise our clients. I'd rather advertise our clients' success wins and have them bring it back to us. And that enables this ability to be able to going forward. That enables us the ability to generate revenue now. So we're currently generating revenue now. Our use of funds would be to basically grow out our team and to grow out our software application, which is what we need to finish. We built the front end and I own the front end and we have the patent pending on that, but on the back end, we need to build out the rest of it, which is why we have the need now. And the bottom line is for us to dominate this innovative sector because lending for small, medium businesses is very difficult. The challenges in innovative industries like robotics, say, for instance, or in even in hydrogen trucks, which are now working with a hydrogen truck company. So we meet a critical need for these companies that really need access to the funds. We help with the underwriting process with the banks that really need to be able to do this. And in essence, really what we're doing is creating a high upside for the entire industry, innovative industries. So I'd like to call it Space Shot, but people told me don't talk about Space Shot industries, but we really like those. That's my pitch with about 53 seconds left to be talking on to you guys. I'd like to really open it up to the judges really to talk to you guys because I know that one of our judges actually has some information about Varo, which is a digital bank that would be very similar to where we're headed. We believe that we can maximize liquidity and help in our industry segments, which are very, very valuable right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Todd. And if you can stop sharing the PowerPoint and judges can go ahead with the feedback and questions.
That was fast. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to doing 5 minutes.
Can you talk a bit more about the underwriting process?
Sure. So most of the cannabis industry banks are a little leery of even lending. We have a network of 9 banks that are very interested in lending. They had been lending already. Some of them had already underwritten some buildings, and some of them had underwritten a few credit lines. But really, when we went to them, Dan, my CEO, has been a banker for 30, 35 years. He removed all the upfront agita or apprehension the banks would have. So we have a software application built that enables all the gathering, all the forms, and basically does what's called the KYC, Know Your Customer, the BSA, Bank Secrecy Act, and AML, which is anti-money laundering, before the customer actually gets to be even seen by the bank, which enables the bank some relaxation. It also gives us the ability to be able to do credit reporting, which is part of our subscription-based model. In our industry, the cannabis industry doesn't even have credit reporting. So the underwriting process is incredibly diligent, but in cannabis and in other industries, it's something that banks have never seen. So Jason, for instance, on the crowdfunding applications you've done in the past, some of the industry segments, they may want to go get leases and they can't. They may want to go get finance and they can't because maybe they're in a nascent industry like electric vehicles. Whereas right now we have one bank that's over $50 billion. They love electric vehicles. So we kind of match those people together. I hope that helps.
It's helpful. And then a bit more about your revenue model, that'd be helpful as well.
Sure. So currently we make a percentage off of every deal that's done from the bank or from the customer. We also have a subscription-based model. So we're enabling people to be able to grab the credit reporting that they need to be able to get access to more banks. And then we have ancillary partners, people like Goodly or others that enable other services that go within inside it. So let's say, for instance, as a challenger bank or that model, you would want to have the access to the employees of all these locations to be able to do home loans, to be able to do I'll give you an example. We just brought on a bank, $7 billion bank, does no lending whatsoever to the cannabis industry, but they built a $7 billion bank on real estate loans. So I asked the CEO, I said, would you be open to bringing on real estate loans for our space? And she goes, absolutely, we'd love that. I said, but hold on one second. Would you also be interested in a solar Powerwall company that competes against Tesla that has a 25-year warranty when Tesla only has a 15-year warranty, and it kicks its butt. And she goes, we would love that. So it's kind of matching the opportunities with what we have and then bringing it forward with artificial intelligence model we're building. More questions, guys?
Cool. I have a question, going back to your revenue model. You kind of mentioned you initially everything is kind of a referral process. If you can speak a little bit more towards that, cash flow positive, I think you said, or generating revenue, if you can speak towards your traction as well too.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. That's you hit it on the head. Thank you for that. Two of our larger partners are very large, I mean, incredibly large. Paychex has done over $1 trillion in HR processing. Another partner of ours we can't talk about in this line, we could talk about RGA, is very large. And what they do is they are out prospecting already to generate service business for their units. And what they do is they offer our service in conjunction with what they're already currently doing. So we have a sales force of 16 on one side and 22 on the other, where they're out actually progressively looking for business for us. We make a split between, they make a split on our revenue, we make a split on theirs. So on the HR compliance services, we'll make percentages there on their stuff, but on when they're offering our financial services or other services we offer, they'll actually make a percentage back. So we have those two models. Plus, we also work with what I would consider to be a trusted network, which are legal firms, accounting firms, and insurance firms, because they all have licenses that if they lose those, they're very, very upset, right? So we want them to refer business to us so that we don't have to worry about where our clients are coming from. I hope that answers. Thanks, Ryan.
I'm the one to be working with Varo Money, so I can't help that much in the conversation. But if you want to ping me after the meeting,
yes, but
with pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Odile, and thank you very much for the great pitch, Todd. That would be the end of the feedback time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Okay. Appreciate you. Have a great night.
So, of course, thank you to all the amazing startups for their great pitches as well. And thank you to all the attendees for attending tonight. Of course, don't forget, we also have a networking session, which you can just go to left on the side, click on networking. And I think it's the best time for the judges and startups to catch up on what they've missed, as well as for the other attendees to meet the judges and startups. Thank you very much for tonight. And that's all. And hope to see you in the future.
Thank you.
Guys. Bye.